Hi and welcome. This is the Digital Office at Home podcast. I'm Marian LaSalle. My co-host is Gail Kendig. And we're going to introduce a brand new section to our beautiful podcast. Now, remember, this guest that we have today is our highlight for today. And his name is Danny. And I'm going to let Danny tell a little bit about what he's doing. But think about all the different possibilities that we have. We have 3 different people here from different parts of the country. We all work from home. Some of us have offices and we work from home. So we're going to mix that in there too. But the section that I would really like to highlight is how we can all work together and refer each other business. Aha, there we go. We're going to add that to it. How do we help each other by referring business? And the reason why I say that is because it was brought to my attention that all of my business since 2009 has been word of mouth and referrals only. I don't pay for any ads. How could that possibly be? Well, it comes from referrals, right? Your big fat mouth and referrals. So that's a new twist about the digital office at home. And so let's get started. Gail, I know darn good and well you have questions for our guest. So let's start with you.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, Danny, what kind of coach are you?
Miguel, I am a business coach specifically focused on small business owners. And we describe that probably micro small, so solo entrepreneurs up to 20 employees.
Up to 20, okay. And the numbers are pretty big for how many new businesses come in every year and how many fail.
Oh.
So I feel that maybe that's your passion to help so many not fail. So you're going to probably give us some business tips for them, right? So that you can post this on all of your social media. So you're not only informing us, but you're informing the rest of the world how you can help a small business. So can you give me like maybe a couple, 2 or 3 things that you advise a small business to do or not to do?
Good question.
Yes,
Yeah.
we've got lots of great ones. Let me give you a quick overview. And that is, we recognize that small business owners are in a unique position. And so there's mounds and mounds of coaching and consulting out there for medium to large size companies. There's very little coaching out there for small business owners. And to your point, statistics show in 3 to 5 years, more than 50% of the small businesses fail. Sad statistic, because in our perspective, they're great people with great ideas. They're hardworking. They're passionate. They're willing to do the work. They just need guidance. They need systems and processes to get them over the hump. Okay, SBA did the research and showed up in Forbes. And basically it says that the number 1 and 2 reason why small businesses fail in the first 3 to 5 years is number 1 from lack of clarity about who they are, what their business is, the niche that they serve. And then the second thing is running out of money, which means because they don't have clarity, they're not getting to their ideal clients fast enough, and they simply run out of runway. And so what we're all about as business coaches is several things. Number 1 is we start from an inside out process. And Gail, just as little as I know about you so far, I think this is probably really in alignment with what you do and what you believe. We call it Pinnacle Gift. And so we have a workshop that we take all of our clients through called Pinnacle Gift. And it's the idea of what you're put on the planet for. And it's about lining up your energy. And so we don't coach, first of all, on numbers and spreadsheets and money. All of that's important. We start with the heart, with the soul, with the identity, and really what we call Pinnacle Gift. Yeah, this idea about how do you line yourself up with your passions and your energy so your business starts to happen naturally. All of that is in a bigger context of what we call decommoditization. What happens for most business owners is we look on the internet, we read a book, we watch videos, and we copy everybody else around us. I call it copycat business. And again, the fastest way to commoditize your business is copy everybody else versus looking inside, finding out what your unique offering is, and then how do you actually be that in the world. So that's where we start. And then the second thing is we have an entire curriculum that we've created called the Pinnacle Success System, that once you know who you are, then we need to start getting into alignment, as we call that Pinnacle Productivity, which is all about 80-20 rule concept. How do you actually choose wisely the activities that you do? The third part of that is gift productivity. The third one is offering. So now we need to get crystal clear about ideal client and the niches you serve. What are the problems you solve and what makes you different in the marketplace? And then the fourth one of that is called Pinnacle Process. And that is once we help people get that uniqueness, we help them turn that into intellectual property, something that they can own, copyright, franchise, trademark, so that it differentiates them from everybody else. So that's kind of in a big picture, small nutshell, what it is we do for these small business owners.
That all sounds amazing, really. Now, what do you have, like a sliding scale, since they don't have a lot of money, they're just starting out? So how do you determine, do you have to set fee for every single business that you're starting to work with? Or do you, I mean, if they don't have a lot of money, it sounds like you're worth a lot of money for what you're giving.
Sounds like you're gonna charge a lot.
Yeah, so because that you're right on the money with all of this, right? Not to, no pun intended, but I mean, how can people afford you? Like they might think they can't afford you because they have a small business, and so how do you get over that hump?
Yeah, really great question. And I think that shows up for a lot of people. So 2 or 3 things. Number one is we do not use a sliding scale. We have fixed pricing, and we believe that it's important that everyone is treated exactly the same. So everybody has the same options, the same opportunities, and we guide them specifically. The one thing that we do as a business is that we do offer pro bono coaching for certain nonprofits or people that are in difficult situations. We have a limited number of those. So instead of sliding scale, we either do full price or we actually offer pro bono in those scenarios. Now, the other good part of it, the good thing is that doesn't really show up for us because our coaching program is affordable. And we've actually designed it that way. So because we know we're working with small business owners don't have $20,000, $30,000 a year budget to spend on coaching, which is what most medium to large size company coaching starts at. And so we recognize that. So we literally created multiple different entry points where they can start in a one-on-one coaching relationship. They can start with what we call a peer advisory board, which is a mastermind group, which is a much more affordable way to come in, get some group coaching, get their business moving, get it off the ground. Then they can move into the coaching part. We also offer strategy. We have a series of workshops. We do disc assessments. We have multiple different options. And so what's really exciting is most of our clients will spend somewhere between $400 and $500 a month. Many of those may start at a couple $100s a month. And so literally it's affordable for people to get started. It's our belief that the most important thing is that they get started, they get involved in a community, they start to build their motivation and success. And as a result of that, there's really the sky's the limit. Now, most of our clients are, again, lifetime clients with us. So we're not one and done. Most of our clients by their choice. We don't have agreements. We don't have contracts. We don't force people into long-term agreements. We don't believe in any of that. Our goal is every time we meet, you should leave feeling like what I like to say, I need more Danny in my life, right? The point is that every time we're together, you should walk away with incredible value and cannot wait for our next time that we're together. So we feel like that the need for contracts and agreements really muddies the water of all those kinds of things rather than let's just be incredibly value-based. Let's help people. Let's grow them. And then the other part I'd say about that, Gail, is that when we're working with a client, because we start from the inside out, we're not just talking about money and business and spreadsheets. We're talking about who they are as a human being and how their business is an extension of their life, right? So we know them on such a personal level that we're their go-to person. So I like to say I'm almost like a coach on retainer, right? And so I've got clients that 10 years later will reach out to me and say, okay, Danny, I need a half day with you. Let's jump on. Great. So it's those kinds of relationship building, knowing them from the inside out, help them grow a successful business, and then knowing that we will be here for them when they need us. And then to your point, we have multiple entry points that they can get started at whatever level they're at to be able to come into the coaching opportunity that we have.
I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you have statistics on how many of your coaches work from home? Or do you encourage them to work outside the home?
So let me create a little context out of your question. So 2 things is I do 2 different things. I am a business coach for small business owners, And at Worldwide Coaching Group, which I'm the owner and founder, is that we have created a certification and training program for business coaches. And so we train other business coaches. And so I'm a coach and I train coaches. So we have taken our model, which has been very successful, and we have now 18 books. We have 130 something videos. We have an entire curriculum. We have multiple different revenue streams. We have an entire business model. And one of the things that separates us from everybody else, I would say, is we're not just more information and more content. We actually are built around a business model, how to get clients and how to keep clients, because that's where coaches struggle. Most coaches are probably pretty good coaches, wherever they are in their life, right? But they struggle because they don't know how to get clients. They don't know how to make money. And they don't know how to actually keep it going, right? And get referrals. And so we actually have a model set up, a marketing and sales system built into our training program that allows them to do that. So with that context, Marian, to your point, is I'm a coach. I train coaches. The coaches that are part of Worldwide Coaching Group are kind of a mix. Some of them we use a lot of virtual office space. So most of our coaches don't have full-time offices. They use virtual office space, which allows them to use it as much as you need or not. Once COVID happened, a lot of our coaches actually converted to Zoom, and a lot of them never went back. And so that has been a really amazing kind of blessing in disguise, right? When all that happened, that allowed us, I was one of those people who's like, no, you got to be face to face. It's so important. You got to have that connection. And then I got to be honest with you, even myself during COVID and all those times, you can do 95% by Zoom. It's enough. It's great. And so, yes, I've converted almost all of my coaching to Zoom. And so our coaches are probably about 70-30 virtual over in person. But we still have a lot of in-person coaching going on as well, simply because that they're location sensitive and they have clients that they've been working with for years. And we're also obviously open to that as well.
Sounds amazing. Really. It sounds like such a great. How long have you been in business?
15 years.
Wow.
And
It's really,
Gail, I like to say, people say, how long have you been coaching? I get a lot. I
oh,
jokingly say, I think I came out the womb coaching and talking,
absolutely.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So I know you probably recognize that. I've owned 7 other businesses. So I am an entrepreneur. I've built businesses. So I'm not a coach talking about it. I'm a
Right.
coach who's actually lived it, experienced it, and helping people follow a process that actually works.
Yeah. I feel like I'm talking to my twin.
When I looked over, just glanced over your website, whenever I learned about you, I feel like we're probably very well aligned.
Yeah, it's really fun. I mean, it's so much energy, but I remember coaching 8-year-olds, at school who were having problems, with their parents or teachers or whatever. I think I came out of the womb coaching too, but yeah, it sounds like I mean, gosh, this is amazing. So you guys met also with networking, you and Marian, is that how you guys got connected? That's fantastic.
On LinkedIn.
So, on
LinkedIn.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Just
So,
a
yeah, go
comment
ahead.
about that. I think Marian is doing similar, but one of the things that I like to, I always say practice what you preach, right? So this idea is I teach our coaches, if you will just put yourself out there and interview people and get to know people, it's literally impossible not to find the people that you're looking for, right? And so I actually started about a year and a half ago on LinkedIn when I connect with people, just saying, hey, if you'd like to jump on a call, I'd love to get to know you. I've done 150 of these over the last year and a half, and I have met some of the most incredible people. I have
Yeah.
created new products, new services, and obviously that brought me to Marian, and I'm thankful for that. So Marian, thank you for your time and the meeting that we got to have together.
That's awesome. When I get those, I do get responses all the time about people want to sell me something, right? And immediately I just get turned off, and I'll just say, well, I appreciate that, but good luck, best wishes with your business, whatever. So I really don't respond favorably, but I could give them a chance, but I know they're whatever their text says, it's like, oh my, whatever they're trying to sell me, and blah, blah, blah. So they're not really trying to get to know me. So I think the language is very important. And that's why I like the coffee chat idea that you guys are doing. It's just because there's a lot of that selling thing that it just drives me. I don't
You're
I
not
just block
alone.
it. It's just very bad. So maybe LinkedIn needs you as their coach to tell the people how to do it right, you know? I don't know. But it's
Again, I appreciate what what you're saying, and honestly, it's just integrity, isn't it? And authenticity, letting people know exactly what you're doing. And so I am very clear that it is an introduction. I call it an intro call. It's a chance to get acquainted. And
yeah.
so what I do is I put that in the message when I send it out. This is not a sales call. This is an opportunity to get acquainted, learn about each other if you choose to do so. And I also, respect people's time. Some people don't have time even for that, which is totally fine. And I honestly sometimes don't either. So I open and close these doors as my availability shifts. But the other thing is that in the I use Calendly as my follow up, and so I also ask questions there, like what is what is important to you about our time together? What do you hope to take away? So you can also find out pretty quickly what people are looking to do and hope to accomplish, and that's another way to kind of
Oh, sure. Gotcha.
reassure people that it's it's for the right reason. And then I still get sold. I get sold.
Of course.
20-30% of them are people who come on and try to sell me, and honestly it's okay. I recognize that's part of the game.
Yeah.
But I will say that sometimes I've actually developed 4 or 5 new revenue streams in our business through these conversations. So for example, one of my introductions was someone who actually is one of the key people with disc assessments, and I wanted to add disc assessments to our coaching model. And so it worked out brilliantly. And now we have another
just
whole
talked about
option
that.
that does that. And
I'm a
she
high I,
is
by the way.
just, yeah, I'm shocking, right?
Me too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I love disc. I've always loved disc. Myers-Briggs drove me crazy because it's just too much. But disc was so simple that I give the example when I went to a chamber event one time. This lady, we were in line for food, doing our little thing, and I just kind of started telling her about herself just by the way she dressed, by the way she talked. So she thought I was a psychic.
Sure.
I'm like,
Sure.
she told her husband, we have to sit next to her. We have to sit next to her. I'm thinking, oh, my liver, what have I started? Right. But it works so well. Disc is simple and I love it. And I think that I just have so many questions, but you have all these coaches, probably quite a few from all over the world, I'm sure. So are you always feeding them information? Are they helping each other when you do Zooms and things like that? You have a mastermind, so you're always implementing new ideas and people, just a wealth of information probably for everybody. It's constant and
Yes,
never.
Gail, thank you. Thank you for asking. Actually, what we've done is we are a big believer in people having the freedom to choose and doing what's right for them. And so we have 3 levels or 3 layers to our coaching model. The first level is access. So that's access to all of our curriculum, our model, our intellectual property, all the videos on Teachable. So this is something that they will actually pay a monthly subscription for. It's very affordable for them. And something that they will keep forever. And so as long as they want to use our material, which we hopefully is forever, and they get the access. The second part is if they actually want to go through our training and certification program, they don't have to. If they want to figure it out on their own and DIY, they are welcome to do that. I don't recommend it, but some people that are in that situation, like we have some people that may start part-time while they still have a full-time career. And they're like, look, I just want to start learning. So it's a great opportunity for them to do that without having a huge investment or whatever. Once they are ready to kind of really get serious about it, we do a 4-day live training where I actually do want to meet with every new coach, build a relationship, teach them the material, make sure they know how to use it correctly, because it is a reflection of our brand. And so it's very important to us that they're equipped properly and they know how to do it. And that's everything from the content, but also how to build a business, how to get clients, how to make money, how to scale. And so that's the 4-day certification training. And then the third part of that is what we call mastery. So if in fact they do want all of the additional things that you're talking about, we offer that as well. And so what we do with that is several things. Number one is I do the first Monday, second Monday, third Monday, I do a live Zoom with every one of our coaches. And the first one is on motivation. So it's about kind of a state of the union, industry, why we're here, all the reasons that this happens. The second one is what we call our education topics. We take one of the different parts of our content and curriculum, and we go through and explain, and we go through that and teach them and explain it. And then those get recorded so they can look back in our library and see hundreds of different topics. All of those could be a coaching topic itself. And so we do what we call education topic and lift template. Lift is our coaching model proprietary to our coaches. And so that's valuable. So for example, if I have a coach that says, my average is I keep a client for about 6 months and I run out of things to talk about, then a question I might say to them is, what would it be worth to you if you could keep them in active coaching for 3 years or 5 years or 7 years or 10 years? And so, I mean, obviously the value proposition and the lifetime value of a client is off the charts at that point. So that's why this becomes important. And then the third week, what we do is we call it hot topic coaching, where all of our coaches, based on wherever they are in their journey, they submit questions, and then we actually go through those together with everybody and record those. So all of these are recorded. They're all tagged appropriately. They're all searchable, and we have an online library for them to do that. The other thing that we do, Gail, is we have a mentorship program. So all of our coaches who've been with us, who are successful, can then become what we call a business success coach. And all coaches get a coach. So every new coach gets a coach. So that is that our coaches then have a business success coach to guide them through the process. And we pay for it. It's an hour of coaching built in for them every single month. So let me walk you through that. So access, then certification training, and then mastery. So here's what we noticed. The reason we did it this way, someone may come in on a part-time basis and just do access. And then a year later, they may come in and do the certification and training, and they may, do the mastery as a part of that. 10 years later, somebody may go, you know what? I feel like I've mastered this. And as much as I love the community, I'm just slowing down in my life. And honestly, I don't want to be part of all that. Love all you guys, but I just kind of want to simplify. Good. You don't have to, and you can drop all the way back to access, still use our material and move forward. So we've tried to design it so in every stage of their career, they're not forced to do something they don't want to do. It's all a benefit and a service and a value proposition to them. So that's the philosophy behind what we've created.
Well, I like to say, oh, my liver. That's a lot of information, and it's really great. You have definitely got it. I mean, you have from A to Z, right? I mean, this is amazing. It gets me really excited inside. I'm jumping up and down, spitting jelly beans inside here. So
Thank you.
It's speaking my language, and it's like I just want to.
I knew you guys would get along great. I have a
wanna be your
question. And we just have a few more minutes, so try to keep it as short as possible, but I really want to know this.
Time goes fast.
As a person who owns a business, how do we find out the best, and I'm going to call it therapy, but I know it's coaching. Okay, so how do you find the person that is going to be, that's going to be the best person for me? So do you does every person go through you, or do you have the disc first, or how do you make sure that they have the right coach?
Wonderful question. So on our website, which is worldwidecoachinggroup.com, there on the front page, there's 3 buttons. There's 3 little buttons there. One of them says, I want to be a coach. The second one says that I need a coach. So I want to connect with one of your coach. And the third one is I have a referral for someone that wants to be a coach. So that second button, if someone says, I really am looking for a coach, there is button number 2, there is a little interview form. And we basically get a series of questions to have you find out who you are, what stage you are in your business, what your style is, what you're looking for. And then we will do an interview as a result of that, and then connect you with one of our coaches in our program. The thing that's important is 2 things. Number one, that they're properly trained. And so number one, there's a lot of coaches out there that have had a myriad of training, but what is their process and what is their system? We're really adamant in Worldwide that all of our coaches are following a proven model, a proven system. So we know that everyone is going to get that kind of result. The second thing is personality, longevity, maybe a background, those types of things that might create a specific, unique bond between those 2 people.
And
does it matter what area of business they're in? Like they could be a real estate agent, they could be a teacher, they could be, so.
It really doesn't matter, Gail. That's a great point. What we've learned is it really doesn't matter what industry. Building a successful business is the concepts are the same. We worked with all of those. We have hundreds and hundreds of different industries. And so what we've noticed is it's more of the stage of business than the top of business. So what happens is, if you know the book, Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant, and you
Sure.
remember it starts from like employee to
Right.
self-employed to business owner to investor, right? So honestly, what we do in our stage of business coaching is we help people go from self-employed to business owner. So we take people that are kind of a one-man, one-woman show that are running their business, maybe with 2 or 3 or 4 employees, and we teach them how to actually transition into a full-fledged business ownership that, what we like to say, becomes sellable and scalable. And so
Cool.
that's really the stage that we're in, and doesn't matter really what industry they're in. We're well versed in all of that, but the concepts of building a successful infrastructure is the same in all of those different industries.
Excellent.
I have
Excellent.
one final question.
Yes.
And this one's important. It really is going to hit hard for me. Okay. So I'm a web designer and I help people either build their own or I build it for them. And one of the customers I just got this last week was offered a coach, not by your company. Okay. So he worked with this coach. And when I talked to him about why he was leaving that coach, he said that and I went through all of this with him. I said, let's find out all the tools and technology that your coach told you to get. He listed off almost 15 softwares that were each costing him money, and half of them he didn't even know what they were. And I thought, well, that's terrible, because my system, and Gail and I are both on the same system, it includes everything. So they had to pay for Calendly, they had to pay for this and for that, and you mentioned Calendly, they had to pay for all this different software. And I thought, well, that is a shame, that
People, they don't know what they don't know. So yeah.
there you go. So how do you conquer that with your coaches? Do you let them know the best software to use?
We do. And really, one of the things that's really valuable in our model is these peer advisory boards. When we put 10 business owners together in a group, we call a peer advisory board, a mastermind group, and we have multiple groups of those. And what's so powerful is throughout those, it is the aggregate of the best ideas of all of these small business owners. And so one of the things that we've learned is that every time something new comes out that's better or can offer that, it shows up in these kind of communities. And so, if you've got 50, if you've got 5 boards of 10 people, 50 people, the minute you have some new tool or technique, all 50 people are going to learn about that within a month. And so it really is a powerful way to keep people on the cutting edge of all the things available. The other thing I'll mention is small business owners are great because most of them are bootstrappers, and most of them are looking for ways to kind of get to where they need to be without spending tons of money. We're a big believer in keeping costs low. We're very lean and mean in the way that we teach our clients
that.
and the way
Thank
we
you.
coach.
Thanks for
And so
answering that.
so as a result of that, not only do we have that, but normally as a coach, I'm the what I call the connector of great people, and I am the summary of all the best ideas that people have. So
I love that.
Awesome. So awesome.
That kind of answers Gail's question in that, do you have a mastermind, or do you have where people all get together? So the peer advisory, that sounds fantastic. And I think I'm going to steal that, Danny.
Yeah, you pretty much thought of everything throughout the years.
Yes, sounds like it.
Whatever's needed, it's okay. Let's look at it. Do we offer it already, or do we need to start something new? And you're juggling a lot of balls in the air. So I don't know how you're doing it all, but
I think he has a team, Gail.
Yeah, I know, but
and I'll tell you, we do have a team, and I'll tell you, it's what we call work hard once. So I know what you're saying, Marian, I'm being fun, but you actually can't steal it because it is trademarked and it's proprietary information.
Yes.
The concept, of course, is available in the marketplace. Here's the point I will say, though, is that everybody knows what a mastermind is.
Yeah.
But we believe we've perfected it. Everybody knows what coaching is, but we believe we've perfected it. Everybody knows. So the reality is there's a lot of great concepts out in the marketplace, and people dibble dabble with the surface of it.
Yeah.
You need to be part of something that has been proven, that's been fleshed out, and that follows a very specific, repeatable process if you're going to get results. You can't surface through this stuff and build a successful business. I'm telling you, I've seen hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. It's not going to work. You've got to get involved in a legitimate program that can guide you through a repeatable process and actually help you get that kind of sustainable results.
That's why franchises work. All right,
Well-
Gail, do you have any final words?
No, I
for
guess
our
I just have
guest?
to save up some money to see when I can join the team to start with you guys.
Awesome. Hey, we'd love to have you. And we're not a franchise, Marian, just since you brought up that point, but we are a proven business model opportunity that allows people to follow a process very similar to a franchise. We call it work hard once, which is once you get a system in place, it's follow the yellow brick road, right?
Hard
I love
ones. I
that.
like it. I
Yes.
like it. I love it.
Work hard, work hard once.
You've been a breath of fresh air this morning for us, Danny, and I hope we get lots of
Thank you.
views for our podcast. So make sure you put it on your social media.
Yeah,
For
there you
sure.
go.
We will too. We will too. So
We'll have you back
Yes.
again, Danny. Thank you for being with us today. We enjoyed it very much.
very
Thank you
much.
so much. Enjoy both of you. Bye-bye.